I see your talents have gone beyond the mere physical level. Your skills are now at the point of spiritual insight.
Knowledge and sharing knowledge is one of the most powerful things on the planet. It can be used to change things for the better, or it can be used to change things for the worse, depending upon the source. There are some teachers out there that are irresponsible, and they teach you irresponsibly to serve an agenda. And that's what I want to talk about. We have to be responsible when we teach people certain things. Let's keep it in a sports perspective. Now, look at this play here. Somebody could come along and tell you all the nuances of this play, and they could tell you all the terminology. But what about the part they don't tell you? What about the techniques or the fundamentals and mechanics that make that play work? Why don't they teach you that part? Same thing with basketball. Somebody can come along and see this play. They can tell you all the terminology, tell you how the play works. But what good is it if you don't know the techniques, if you don't know the proper mechanics? It's useless. That part of it, maybe they don't know, maybe they don't want to share it. Maybe they want to keep you playing that shell game with knowledge, where they give you the basics and they hide the rest for themselves, or it never existed to begin with. It's just a con. They want to blindfold you and keep you in the dark and have you listen to the sound of their voice, because they are the absolute. So no matter what they teach you, you always have to go back to them for the rest. They don't encourage you to go out and find out the rest on your own. It's just like with this game. I could take that same football play and put it over top of this game and keep talking and telling you, spitting out all the logic and the fundamentals until you start to believe that you're seeing that play out through this game. But is it really playing out? Or did I just fool you into believing it? One of the most powerful things out here that is the most damaging thing is false knowledge. When people give you false information for their benefit. Or they just, like I said, they just give you the shell so that you have to always see them as the absolute. That's irresponsible teaching. That's not you really sharing knowledge. That's just you trying to control people. But we do have people that remain in the shadows that do that. And they call themselves unbiased, even though their agenda is completely biased. You just have to pay attention to what they're doing. They're trying to keep the turmoil going. They're trying to keep chaos going. These same people will twist logic to tell you that word of mouth means more than visual evidence. That you are to trust every word that comes out of their mouth, even though visual evidence says otherwise. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never been in a world where visual evidence is being trumped by word of mouth. That's just ridiculous. But that's the most telling answer of all, is when you ask them a question or you ask them to present visual evidence and they never can do it, that lets you know all you need to know about what they truly know and what their agenda is truly about, which is basically to worship a false god rife with greed, one that has proven time and again that they could care less about anyone other than the color of green. And that's it. That's in a nutshell. But these same people, they want to disarm you by telling you that everything that you do, when you expose the truth, when you share knowledge, when you ask the hard questions or request evidence or use intellect and reason, you're a hater. A sad attempt to use one word to strip away your defenses. But, at one point, it was almost looking like we were going to all stand together. And that's the way it's supposed to be. When you educate and grow together, you stand together. But if you look at social media, and if Twitter could physically manifest itself, this is what it would look like. This is what it's devolved into. Every day, there's always someone creating complete chaos. Because that seems to be the only way. And when people don't have answers to certain questions or knowledge on certain material and can't go in depth about it, they divert your attention away from that by complaining about other people and other things, because they can never talk about anything of true substance. It's always trying to divert your attention, and the shadow men are always looming and waiting, because they always want to let you know that they speak fact and you speak opinion. Even though you might present visual evidence to the contrary, it's always just an opinion. But the sooner you start recognizing when the devil smiles at you and extends his hand while he's keeping that other hand behind his back, the better off you'll be. And there's a lot of devils out there that try to do that, because there's a lot of egos. There's a lot of dudes out there that claim to be these false kings and the voice of the kingdom. But again, like I said, you listen to them saying them and they versus we and us. It's never about we and us. But it should be. You let them burn down their own kingdom. They do that well enough on their own, because everything that lies in the dark will always rise into the light. They do a good enough job exposing themselves without our help. We need to stop adding to the chaos and start with the education and the knowledge, and keep sharing that knowledge so we can get back to growth, so we can get back to unity, so we can get back to standing together and growing together. The things that you know, the things that you have inside of you that are knowledge-based, that are intellect-based, that shows your maturity, those are the things that need to be on exhibit, not the ridiculous exchanges. So let's be responsible teachers and set better examples for everyone. I'm out.